There's a lot of advice out there when it comes to witchcraft and starting your journey. More than I could ever recommend, more than I could ever say. I've even made videos offering tips and tricks to baby witches that I felt were helpful from my experience, but it always comes back to one thing for me. Everything in my life, everything that's led me to where I am spiritually and as a witch, is because of this reason. It is something that has been there since day one and something that will continue to be there through our entire life and even after. So if there's one piece of advice I could give you as a beginner witch, this is it. Follow, trust, and strengthen your intuition, because not only is this necessary for your witchcraft journey, but also your life. This will help to save you from bad situations, bad people, and protect your energy overall. It's there to have your back. Now, before you freak out thinking that you don't feel your intuition, think about a time where you've met somebody that was one of your friends' friends, or somebody new that you've never met before, and you got a vibe about them. You instantly either liked them or you didn't like them for some reason. Regardless of what they said to you, regardless of the way they acted, you already had a feeling about it. That's your intuition giving you a heads up about dangers in your life and things that you need to know. It's stuff like that in our everyday that we get these messages and we don't really realize that it's our intuition. We always question it and we think that it's just our mind playing tricks on us. And I can tell you, every time you've done that, you've probably regretted it, right? Our intuition is our lifeline. It is something our ancestors used for survival when they were living off of the land and when they lived amongst wildlife. It helped them to figure out when there was danger and when everything was okay, and we still have that voice in us today. We all have an inner voice, whether you're intuitive or not, whether you believe in it or not, it's there. We all have an intuition and we all get feelings about things. It's the voice of our soul, the voice of wisdom, as I like to think of it. And I can tell you, along my witchcraft journey, I've been developing it consistently through meditation, through being outside in nature, through grounding exercises, through using your craft and collecting natural things and stuff like that, being around crystals, yoga. There's so many different ways to develop your intuition. But here's my point. When you start to listen to your intuition, it's going to grow stronger. When you don't listen to your intuition, it shuts down. Think of it going like this. Oh, you don't want to hear from me. Okay, I'm going to step back and let you take it from here. If you listen to your intuition, it's going to grow because you're acknowledging it. It's going to become more accurate and you're going to hear from it a lot more. To shut it out is like yelling at a friend of yours, telling them you don't want to see them anymore. Your friend's not going to want to be around you then, right? That's basically how it works with your intuition. And so in order to invite it in, you have to work at building it and trusting those feelings when you get them. And so putting in effort to do these spiritual practices throughout the day, even doing like gratitude exercises and stuff like that, and it will help you to develop it more by feeling all these high vibrations and getting you to the point of channeling your third eye energy and opening it. And so good ways to practice building your intuition are going outside in nature, doing spiritual practices like I said, but also just observing people. There's a difference between judging people and feeling the energy of people. Judging people is making an assumption based on the way they act or the way they look. Our intuition is an initial feeling that you get about this person. So for example, going in public and sitting on a park bench and just watching people walk by. Watch this man as he walks past you. What energy do you feel from him? Don't profile him. Don't pick him apart by what he's wearing. Don't pick him apart by the way he does his hair. What feeling do you get from that? But it's a good way to start practicing energy and get an idea of what I'm saying. So if you catch yourself kind of picking apart who they are just from you thinking about it, stop yourself and just get the initial feeling. There may not be anything there that you get right away, but doing these practices will help you to start to develop these feelings and energies from people. Now, you don't want to get discouraged when you're not right. I can tell you from experience, I tried so hard to force my intuition in the beginning that I was always incorrect when I thought that I was feeling something just because I made myself believe that's what it was instead of just feeling it. I tried to convince myself that I was feeling it when I actually wasn't. But when I stopped putting so much force on it, it came naturally. And when I started doing spiritual practices, it came even quicker. And so doing this is going to help you. Now, the reason I bring this up in witchcraft is because everything you need to know is going to be in your intuition. When you start the spiritual journey, you're allowing magic into your life. You're allowing this powerful energy into your life, and it can be a little intimidating getting into this area because there's so much to learn, from crystals, the herbs, scrying, runes, tarot reading, all this stuff. There's so many different branches, and as a beginner you're going to want to do all of them. But when you develop your intuition, it will guide you to what you need to learn at that time and what is important and necessary for your journey thus far. So for me, when I started, I was really drawn to crystals. I was very interested in everything else, but crystals were what I was pulled to first. And so I started delving into the magic of crystals, and that helped me to get my psychic abilities and intuition under control better, because I was practicing with crystals who hold a lot of energy to aligning chakras and allowing different energy vibrations into your body and to your space that will help to contribute to opening your third eye and so forth. And so for me, I was really drawn to clear quartz, and I used to wear it on a little crystal like tiara type thing, and I'd have the quartz right there on my third eye, and that helped me a lot. I'd do meditations with that and such. And then out of nowhere, I was really drawn to meditating outside, so I started doing meditation outside. Then I got really pulled to moon water. I started practicing with water. My intuition helped to guide me through what I needed to be at that current time, and it also did help me in my life outside of my witchcraft, because it was stuff that was playing a part in my everyday life as well, and how I was learning things and kind of where I wanted to go with my career and stuff like that. Not only that, but you'll be pulled to certain things in your life when you go through different things. So for example, if you go through a breakup, you might be pulled to a certain type of herb or crystal afterwards, and that's something that that knowledge is within you. And of course you can look these up and do it that way too, but it's one of the coolest experiences and one of the most validating experiences of your intuition when you go through something like that and you immediately think of a crystal in your head when you don't even know what that crystal is, you don't know what it means. And so you get that crystal and it has to do with your exact situation and the healing necessary for it. The biggest thing for me along my journey was listening to my intuition, because it helped to guide me to these different things. I can tell you, as a witch, even for years, I'm still getting pulled to different crystals and herbs and different practices constantly that I never put any thought towards before, and that I had no interest in and I didn't have the materials for. I felt drawn to them and I looked into them, and then I knew exactly why. So my point here is listening to your intuition is going to guide you to exactly the practices you need to do, align you with the path that you need to be on, and also help you to delve deeper into your witchcraft in a more intimate and personal way to you only. And that's going to be the most magical experience overall. There's little signs in our everyday life, the littlest thoughts, the littlest bits of inspiration and passion towards things in our life. That's all our intuition trying to pull us just towards certain things to help us get on that path. And so meditating is really good for this, because you get to spend time with yourself in silence. There's no distractions of the TV or your phone. There's nobody else around. You're in silence with your thoughts and with your body and with your energy. And here's where the magic will happen, because you'll be able to hear your inner voice when you quiet the world around you. There's a lot of great advice out there for witches, but for me, if I could give you one single piece of advice, it would be to follow, trust, and strengthen your intuition as your first step into witchcraft, because I cannot tell you how much that will help you to get to where you need to be, instead of having people tell you all these different ways to go and what you need to be doing. Listening to your inner voice is going to be the most important, because it already knows where you need to be, and it's had your back since before you were born, and it will continue to have your back even after you pass. It is your soul protection, your barrier, your spirit, your inner voice, the voice of your ancestors coming through to protect you. This is the magic that you hold within. You hold all the magic you need for witchcraft. It's not about the things like crystals and herbs. It's not about all these altar decorations. It's not about as much pentacles as you can get in your space. You are the magic, and the magic is you. It's within you, and a big part of that is from your intuition. Listen to that voice, honor it, and strengthen it, and it's going to become your best friend. But yeah guys, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed this. I do have other tips if you want to get a little bit more in depth with like 10 to 15 different tips for beginner witches. Check out my videos here, and I will see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know how your journey is going, how long you've been a witch, and what made you start. I love you guys, and I'll see you later.